Good morning, dear student. Myself is Dr. Giriraj. So, subject assigned to me is microcontroller and embedded system. It is a elective EC604A. So, these are new scheme based on AICT flexible curricula. Unit 1 cover the 8051 interfacing, application and serial communication, 8051 interfacing to ADC and DSA. Stepper motors, interfacing, timer, counters, function, 8051 based data acquisition system, 8051 connection to RS-232, 8051 serial communication modes, serial communication programming, serial port communication in IC. In second unit cover, microcontroller 8096, introduction to 8016-bit microcontroller, functional blow diagram, memory status, complete 8096 instruction set, classification of instruction set, addressing modes, programming example using 8096, hardware features of 8096, parallel ports, control, status register, introduction to 16 or 32-bit PIC microcontroller, and DSPIC. And unit third cover introduction to embedded systems, and unit 4 cover embedded system architecture, and finally unit 5 belong to input output and peripheral devices. So these are reference book. First reference book is the 8051 microcontroller and embedded system by Muhammad Ali Mejdi and Gillespie Mejdi, and its publisher is Pearson 2005. And second microcontroller reference book is the 8051 microcontroller architecture by Kenneth J. Ayala, and it's a third edition, Singe's Learning. Before studying microcontroller and embedded system, we have to know some fundamental concept of microprocessor. So we are going through a period of microelectronics revolution. For a common person, the role of microprocessor is limited to audio-video gadgets like radio and TV, calculator. But the truth is, today the growth of any industry like communication control, instrumentation, or computer are dependent upon microcontroller to great extent. Microcontroller play an important role in the development of modern civilization. It is making an impact on every activity of mankind. It is being used in almost all control applications. Microcontrollers are found in huge variety of applications, including control system weapon system, power system, automobile, automation, domestic appliances, video games, fax machines, photocopiers, quality control of manufacturing products, machine tool control, robotics, and many other places, etc. So we have to know some fundamentals of computer. A computer is a electronic machine that takes data and instruction as an input from user and process it and provide useful information. A computer is a programmable machine. The two principal characteristics of computer: it responds to a specific set of instructions. Second, it can execute a predefined, pre-recorded list of instructions. All general purpose computers require the following hardware component: input, output, process represents a CPU, and memory. So there are so many inventions at time to time in the computer system. Initially, we talk about mechanical computer. So mechanical computer based on mechanical gadgets, electronic computer based on electronic component, and modern computers are based on digital circuit, that is IC. The digital computer have been categorized according to the size, that is large, medium, mini computer, and microcomputer. In the early years of deployment, the emphasis was on large and more powerful computers. In the year of 1960, large and medium computers were accessible and affordable only to big corporations, big university, and government agencies. In the late 1960s, many computers were available for use in office, small colleges, business organization, small factory, etc. Since 1970, as the technology has advanced from SSI to VLSI, the face of the computer has changed because it has now become possible to build the processing unit with its related timing function, that is control unit, and register array on a single chip known as microprocessor, that form a microcomputer. So microcomputer are, it may be desktop, laptop, laptop, notebook, etc. So now question arises, what is CPU? CPU means central processing unit. To perform a task or useful function, we have to form a system by using processor as a CPU and interface a memory, input and output devices to it. The processor is pronounced as separate letter. CPU is the abbreviation for central processing unit. CPU itself is a internal component of the computer, whether it is a desktop machine, server, and a laptop. The CPU processor you are using might be a Pentium K6 Power PC, Spark i3, i5, or any of the many other brands and type of microprocessor. The CPU processor are found in a huge variety of applications, including control system, defense system, power system. The CPU is the heart of any normal computer, which is in charge of computer operation. The CPU is the brain of the computer where most calculation take place. CPU not only impacts overall computing power, but also manages most of the operation of a computer system. Modern CPU are small and square in shape and containing multiple metallic connector pins on the underside. The CPU is inserted directly into the CPU socket on the motherboard, and each motherboard will support only a specific type of a CPU. So you must check the motherboard manufacturer's specification before attempting to replace or upgrade a CPU in your computer. Modern CPU also have a attached heatsink and small fans that go directly on top of the CPU to help dissipate heat. Before the era of 1970, the CPU was built either from collection of chips or from discrete components. Typical components for CPU implementation are ALU, control unit, register set, and these are interfaced each other. Since the 1970, the microprocessor has almost completely overtaken all other CPU implementations because as the technology has advanced from SSI to VLSI and PMOS to CMOS, the face of the CPU has changed. Now, it has become possible to build the arithmetic processing unit with its selected timing function and register array on a single chip known as microprocessor. Nowadays, microprocessor IC that has the size of fingernail consists of more than a million transistors and other discrete components embedded into it. Thus, a microprocessor can also be called a microchip and is basically a collection of some discrete circuits on a small chip that is made of semiconductor material like silicon. Microprocessor is a complete computation engine containing millions of very small components, including transistors, resistors, diodes that work together and are fabricated on a single chip silicon using most technology like PMOS, NMOS, HMOS, CMOS. PMOS indicate P-channel metal oxide semiconductor, N-channel indicate N-channel metal oxide semiconductor, HMOS indicate hybrid metal oxide semiconductor, and CMOS indicate complementary metal oxide semiconductor. So we can say a microprocessor is a semiconductor device manufactured by techniques such as LSI or VLSI. The X bit means 8-bit microprocessor means its arithmetic logic unit and internal register and most of its instructions are designed to work X-bit binary word. The microprocessor-based system consists of a microprocessor with peripheral. The memory, input device, output device, and interpreting device are called peripheral. The popular semiconductor memories like EEPROM and RAM input devices are keyboard, mouse, and floppy disk, and the output devices are CRT, monitor, printer, LED, LCD, display, etc. The interfacing devices 8251, 8253, 8255, 8257, 8259, and 8279. The central processing unit is generally the microprocessor chip itself. This device containing the following unit: register, arithmetic, control logic, control unit. The register that can be used to hold instructions, data, and address during processing. An arithmetic logic unit that is also able to perform a variety of arithmetic and logical functions. A control unit which accepts and generates external control signals and provides timing signal for the entire system. The CPU performs three tasks: fetching, decoding, and executing. The basic component of a microprocessor-based system, CPU, RAM, ROM, and platform, that are linked together using a multiple connecting arrangement known as a bus. The address bus is used to specify memory location. The data bus is used to transfer data between devices. A control bus is used to provide timing and control signals. In order to ensure that all the data flow within the system in orderly, it is necessary to synchronize all of the data transfers using a clock signal. This signal is often generated by a clock circuit. So this is the basic fundamentals of microprocessor, which has been covered